Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Trucker Todd, as you might have guessed, and it's time for another live stream. So this has been a crazy week. There's tons of stuff to talk about, as you can tell from the title of the video. I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it. I want to start by thanking the channel members that we still have. We don't have a lot, but we appreciate the few we have. It starts with the original one. We're down to 5 now. Ramon, Robbie Ross, Corey Oatley, KC, and Adam. So I appreciate you all sticking with me. Um, as far as the channel, some announcements I want to make before we jump into everything. I'm going to start trying to do a live stream every Sunday at around between 3 and 4 Central Time. We're going to have to play with the time a little bit till I get it all figured out. And then we'll try to do some other stuff along the way. Also, I got several good suggestions for trucking companies that y'all would like me to talk about. And we're going to put that stuff out in the members only content. People have asked, why do I do it there? And it's because I can say a little bit more there than I can out here in the open like this. So be looking for that to be coming in the coming weeks as I get time to put those together. So now let's talk about some of this other stuff that goes on. Um, it's been a terrible week. I cut my thumb this week, and you probably can't see it in the video, but it's pretty banged up. This is the actual first full day that I've gone without bandages on it. It was pretty nasty. I probably should have went and got stitches or got it looked at, but I didn't. I just pulled out the old first aid kit and wrapped it. My dad, a few days ago, didn't fall. He was coughing real hard, and he messed up 2 vertebrae in his back. He's going to be in the hospital for several weeks on painkillers, and then he's going to have some home therapy, and then probably some back surgery too. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. All of that's going on. But now let's talk about my job problems and medical situation. So a week ago today, I switched from um, what's it called, Ozempic over to Monjaro for no reason other than my weight had kind of plateaued off. It's the lowest it's been in 15 years, but we wanted more weight loss. I want to lose about another 40 pounds. And so they switched me to Monjaro. It's a similar drug, but it reacts. It has one more thing in it that I couldn't begin to explain to you that's supposed to help with even increased weight loss. Well, without getting too technical, there's been some side effects. Some of the side effects is I have to go to the restroom a lot more often. I sweat profusely, and so it's creating a problem at work, which is weird for me. I've been thinking about over the course of my life, I've never had a job where I couldn't go to the bathroom when I needed to go to the bathroom. And Friday evening, I got kind of, let's say, scolded at work by somebody that wasn't my supervisor, but another supervisor up there for going to the bathroom while I was on the clock. Now, I've never had a job where I couldn't go to the bathroom. I've never had a job where I had to ask if I could go to the bathroom. And being a 51-year-old male with diabetes and all this other stuff going on, and this recent change to Monjaro, I'm having to go to the bathroom every, 3 hours or so. And so we're going to see how that plays out tomorrow. I'm sure the little snitch supervisor is going to tell my supervisor tomorrow, and I'm going to have to deal with this at work, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not real good at taking criticism I don't deserve. Now, speaking of that, criticism I don't deserve, um, on this channel, I've talked about some of the stuff the trolls have done, and you kind of expect it from them. And I've said I've been able to let it roll off my shoulder because they don't really know me. A lot of it's jealousy, some of it's envy, some of it's just people that are bored with nothing else to do. It's cheap entertainment for them. And I've been able to roll it off my sleeve a lot because I've said, well, they don't know me. They just know this Trucker Todd persona. And I've said that there's people that I like that I know for a fact they don't like me. And I said, it's possible for me to like people that do not like me. It's an entirely different deal when those things come from close friends or family. And I've had a little bit of both this week. I've found out that a very, very close family member has been trying to sabotage me behind the scenes. And I'm not sure how to react to that. Um, like I said, it's different when it's strangers doing it. It's a whole lot different when it's family and very close family that know you very well. So I would like to think that there's nobody in my family that wishes me ill will or harm or anything like that. But it's clearly not true in some cases, and I'm still evaluating the situation and trying to determine the best way to handle that. And let me say this before we go any further. I've been guilty of this before in the past too. I've been critical of people that maybe I shouldn't have been critical of. I think some of that changes with time and maturity. But yeah, it's been a tough week to say the least. And I've still got several weeks before trucking is an option, even if I wanted it to be roughly 6 or 7 weeks. But I just don't know how this job is going to work if uh, if if I can't go to the bathroom when I need to go to the bathroom. I mean, what do they want me to do? Go on myself at my desk? And I've said that one of the main reasons that I'm enjoying the home every time or home every day type deal and all of this, even though it's at a reduced income, is the extra family time and things like that. But if I've got a family full of and not full of, if I've got a family that consists in a moderate part of people that are backstabbers and things like that, then I'm going to have to weigh that into the equation as well. And I'm not by any means saying my family's exclusive. I'm sure it goes on in each of your families, but it's just painful to see and to experience because it came from an area I wasn't expecting it. And I'm usually a pretty good anticipator of who's going to stab me in the back or betray me, but I missed it this time. And so yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. But the big news, the big takeaway from this, I'm going to try to start doing videos every Sunday afternoon between 3 and 4 Central. I'm just going to be tweaking the times the next few weeks, and we'll see. Now, NFL season's starting, so I don't know how that's going to work either, but we'll see. All right, we've done this long enough. Let's hop in here and say hello to people that have been here the longest. It looks like first in today was Gary Cook saying, Good Sunday afternoon. Good Sunday afternoon, Gary. Glad you could be here. And Mark is saying, What's up, everyone? What's up, Mark? Glad you could be here. And channel member Robbie Ross. Good afternoon, friends from Albert Lee. Good old Albert Lee. Been there many, many times. Usually go to the Petro. Used to have a really good restaurant. I don't know how good it is now. And Stephen Lyle says, Hey, Robbie, you are the first. Actually, Gary Cook beat him by about 9 minutes, it looks like. And channel member Robbie Ross said others were ahead of him. He's third in. Yes, sir. And Stephen Lyle said, I stand corrected, LOL. The slow-mo sign covered them up. Okay. And Mark says he was not first. No way. Yeah, some of you guys are really, really quick at getting in here. And Don says hello. And Mark says, remember, they can't discriminate against you due to medical reasons. Yeah, I don't even know that it's a medical reason. If there's 100 of us in a room, and that's roughly what there is, 80 to 100 of us, what's it going to look like in there if we can't go to the bathroom If they say, all right, nobody can go to the bathroom while you're on the clock. Well, do they want me to bring a urinal to my desk? Do they want me to go on my office chair? I mean, I don't think they've thought this through, but I can't wait to have this discussion with them tomorrow. And it's really childish. I mean, I got to think back. I haven't asked permission to go to the bathroom since I was in high school, I guess. I mean, even in college, I took a semester of college. In college, you didn't have to ask to go to the bathroom. And I've never worked a job where you had to. My very first job outside of working on my dad's farm was at the grocery store in my small town. And you didn't have to have permission. You just went to the bathroom. So I don't know from a legal standpoint um, what they can say or do, but I know if I get written up or anything tomorrow, it's going to be a war of epic proportions. And let's be clear about something else. They knew what they were hiring when they hired me. They knew I had just had the strokes. They knew I was diabetic. They knew I had sleep apnea. They knew I had high blood pressure. They knew I had slightly high cholesterol. I mean, they knew my medical history. So for them to turn around and say, hey, we knew you were 51, you had all these issues, but you can't go to the bathroom, it seems like a childish thing to have a fight over. And Mark says, hit the thumbs up button, everyone. Yes, please do that. Stephen Lyles says, are there any local home everyday trucking jobs in your area that may pay better, but you still have home time? There probably is. I can't even look at them till September 14th. I'm not eligible to drive until at least then because of having 15 strokes back in March. So for now, I've got to do something non-trucking. I do still have my CDL, but I don't have a medical card, and I've got a special exemption that allows me to have my CDL without a medical card. Ironically, I can still drive a commercial vehicle in Texas as long as I'm not being paid. So if, for example, if the church I were going to needed me to drive a commercial vehicle for them, as long as they didn't pay me, it was legal for me to do that. But if they offered to give me any kind of compensation, it would be illegal for me to do that. Channel member Robbie Ross, I was on that drug and stopped taking it for the same issues. Hard to get to a toilet on the road. Oh, just do like all the other drivers do. Stand on your running boards or get a bunch of Gatorade bottles. It, I'm willing to tolerate it for a while if it helps with weight loss and everything like that. And but we'll see. I don't want to work somewhere like that. You guys have heard me for the past however long I've been on YouTube. I think we're at almost 600 videos now. Talk about micromanagement and how I'm against it. And, I'm still against it. If I have to go up to another grown man or a grown woman, it doesn't matter. It's not a gender thing. That in some cases they're younger than me, in a few cases they're older than me. And I've got to say, may I please go to the bathroom? I'm just not going to do it. I, y'all can say I'm egotistical. You can say, that I think I'm better than everybody or whatever you want to say. But there's some human dignity that has to kick in at some point. That's what I'm saying, Mark. He said, bring in a pee bottle. We're all good with them. LOL. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll lay trucker bombs all throughout the facility. And if they're really lucky, on Fridays, I'll leave my trash bag next to my car out in the parking lot. So, how many breaks do you get at work? Do you get a lunch? Yeah. So, this particular situation, I get a 15-minute break, and then I get an hour lunch, and then I get another 15-minute break later in the day. This particular one, I was on a call. We were completing an order. I mean, we were 3 or 4 minutes away from completing the order. And so I thought, well, I'll just go to the bathroom at the end of this call. Well, right when we're getting ready to take the credit card information, She says, "Oh, wait, I want to order something for my husband too." And the only way to do that is to cancel that order and start completely over from the beginning. And so to do that, it takes my computer a second to reset. And I said, "All right, I'm going to cancel this order. I'm going to put you on a brief hold. And while I get everything reset," she said, "That's fine. No problem. I'm sorry. I waited till the last minute to change my mind." So while the computer was resetting, I ran to the bathroom, and I mean literally ran. I put her on hold. I ran to the bathroom. I was gone approximately 3.5 minutes. That's including hand washing and everything. I flew. And as I'm coming back to my desk, a supervisor from another department, because my supervisor had already left for the day, says, "Hey, Todd, are you on a call?" I said, "Yep, I sure am." And she gave me this dirty look like I'm going to snitch on you. And I just thought, man, do I want to work for a place like this? And maybe I do, maybe I don't. We'll see how tomorrow goes at work. But I would love for them to pull me in an office and question me about this. I can't wait because, uh, well, I think some of you know what my reaction's going to be, and what some of my suggestions are going to be. I mean, I've got no problem going in front of the whole group if they want me to, or bringing a urinal and stick it under my desk. I think they better think this through long and hard before they question me tomorrow. Omegon says, "I'm the slowest of the bunch to check in. That's all right, my friend. We're just glad you're here." If you missed the beginning, though, go back and check it out. I kind of said what's going on and everything. Tell that rat next time you get out of the bathroom, tell them there's $100 bill behind the bowl. Yeah, let's just say it's been a while since I've seen $100 bill. Um, you know, it's a decent job I've got for Lubbock, so I don't want to, for lack of a better term, pee it away for no reason. But I'm not in elementary school either. I'm not going to get, uh, you know, scolded for going to the bathroom. Now, if they catch me in there playing on my phone, scold me. I didn't even take my phone. If they find I'm doing it excessively, then fine, scold me. But if once or twice a day I need to run to the bathroom, they're going to have to deal with it. And some of you older drivers know what I'm talking about. We'd all like to turn our nose up and say we've never gone between our truck and trailer and gone to the bathroom, or we've never peed in a bottle. But I would say percentage wise, almost all of us have at some point. It's not the preferred method. We'd rather find a rest area or a truck stop. But sometimes nature calls and it doesn't wait till your next 15-minute break. And so the Manjaro seems to be working well, um, but we'll just have to give it a few weeks and see how I do on it. So Gary Cook says, "How did you cut your finger?" The short answer is I was doing something stupid. So we bought these little plastic clips that you put like on potato chip bags and stuff to keep them from going stale. And they were zip tied in the box they came in. And I was cutting a zip tie with a steak knife and ended up stabbing myself in the thumb. In hindsight, I probably should have done it differently. We had some scissors. I didn't know where they were at the time, and I was just trying to hurry. And so uh, part of that's still the mental thing in my brain coming back online. Hand-eye coordination's not great, and obviously decision making isn't great. But I've noticed, especially the last 2 weeks, I've made a lot of improvements. It's why I feel comfortable saying that I think we can start doing videos on Sunday afternoons, and why I feel like I'll be able to start putting out more videos in the coming weeks. Now it's just going to come down to time. Also, you might notice I'm stuttering a lot less. So I think things are coming around for me. I think I've turned the corner, but I've still got a little ways to go. Some of it's decision making. Um, Before I came on air, I was taking some of my medications. I dropped a pill on the floor. I had a hard time picking it up. Um, just fine motor skills are still developing. And so those things will get better. But when I went to the neurologist and he did the motor tests on me, I was fine. So seems to be kind of a hit and miss type thing that seems to continually be getting better. Speaking of continually getting better, while I'm waiting for y'all to type some comments, and who knows, this may be a short day since everybody didn't know I was going to do a Sunday video. Um, Matter of fact, somebody, I don't want to call them out on here, was texting me a couple hours ago saying, uh, was I going to do a live today? And I was telling them, I don't know. I just got out of church and I felt terrible. I said, I'm going to eat something and lay here for a little bit and see how I feel. And but anyway, speaking of all of that, um, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, some of my stuff is still coming back, but I feel really confident by mid-September that I'll be advanced enough that I can go back to my old routine if I need to. Alrighty. Speaking of that, that's what I was getting to. See, it came to me. While y'all are here and we're waiting for people to type comments, give me a thumbs up. Share this video on your social media platforms. Make sure you're subscribed. All of these things really help the channel. And something I'm even experiencing at work, a lot of people are saying, where can I find you, Todd? And I'm giving them business cards that's got a QR code with my link tree on it. But pretty much on most of your social media platforms, if you go in there and type in Trucker Todd, you can find me. That would be Instagram. That would be LinkedIn. That would be X, which used to be Twitter. That would be Truth Social, which is the new Donald Trump one. And so I'm on a lot of that would be TikTok. So all those social media platforms that you all have, if you haven't added Trucker Todd on all of those, please do. I'm also on Facebook. There's a Trucker Todd Facebook, and I put different things on different platforms at different times. So just check me out on all of those different places. And all right, folks, we're 23 minutes in. We may be getting near the shortest video we've ever had. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, please throw them up there, and we'll get to them. Do you think that you will return to trucking? I have a feeling that you will be back. So I was listening to uh, a band the other day, one of the lead guitarist of a band, and he talked about when the band broke up, and he said that while they were broke up, people kept asking him, are y'all going to get back together? Are y'all going to get back together? And he said, I was upset at the band, but I knew at some point we'd get back together because we were too big not to. And so I'm not trying to insinuate that I'm big or anything like that, but I am saying that a lot of successes and a lot of opportunities came to me while I was driving a truck. And so at some point, I think I might be doing something in the transportation field, driving or otherwise. Um, as I've said, I'm not even hiding it. I am talking to trucking companies about different things right now. Most of the trucking companies say, "Hey, Todd, we'd love to have you, but we want you to drive. We want you behind the wheel." And like I said, there's a family dynamic. My wife really enjoys me being home. My oldest son has said how much he likes having me around, and he thinks he can see an improvement in my health. So he thinks I'm going to live longer if I stay off the truck. But as it was mentioned earlier in this video, there's other things you can do in trucking, and we've talked about this before. There's a lot of opportunities within trucking, and maybe a local or regional deal where I'm home on the weekends makes more sense. I really do like going out and meeting everybody and doing all of that. And so I firmly believe that the right opportunity will come along very, very soon. Having said that, though, I mean, once you do the spot market, it's hard to do anything else. I'm so used to picking my own loads and doing what I want, when I want, how I want. And so I don't know. But when I ran the spot market, I was home a lot then too. So, and I just had more money in my pocket. So, in the ideal circumstance, I'd like to go back to SRO logistics. But there's really only one downside to that, and I'm sure you guys, any of you that's talked to me on the phone, know what it is. He's a great ethical guy, really nice guy. I talk to him a couple of times a month, and even now. But the problem is, if I had a major breakdown, I need a large company that could back me financially right now, especially after all I've gone through, say, the last 18 months. And while Scott might could do it for, a little bit of that, I don't know that he could do if I had a $10,000 repair and I didn't have the $10,000. I don't know that he could go on the hook that far. Maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. And maybe it's not a good reason to take that leap and find out. So if I went back to SRO, I would like to get a newer truck with some factory warranty, or otherwise I might be forced to go to a different carrier that did have that financial backing in the event things got beyond what I could do. Got a super chat here from my good friend and channel member Robbie Ross. $20. Glad to have NFL football back. Let's go Cowboys. Yes, sir. I agree. I don't think this is going to be the season for the Cowboys, but I'm still going to watch. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm going to support them whether they do well or not. And we were talking about this at work the other day. I wore my Dallas Cowboy jersey up there that Robbie Ross got me, and everybody was commenting how they liked the color and what a great jersey it was, and everything. And we even had some debate about Dak Prescott. And the deal is I love the Cowboys. I do not like Jerry Jones, and I don't like his son Stephen Jones. And so you can like the Cowboys and not like the owner, and that's what I find a lot of. A lot of people don't mind the Cowboys, but they don't like the Jones family. And I think I've got an uncle that he doesn't like Jerry Jones because of the way Jerry Jones fired Tom Landry back in the day. And I think there's a lot of people that fall into that category. I think a lot of people believe that the Cowboys should have had more successes than they did, but that Jerry Jones's ego got in the way. And so, um, yeah, I'm going to watch even if they lose every game this season. I'm still going to watch, still going to cheer them on. I'm still going to be a Dak Prescott fan, whether he leads the NFL or he's last in the NFL. So, do I think he's overpaid? Yeah, I think most of them are overpaid. I think all of them are overpaid, actually. But I could argue the other side of it, too. How much money does the NFL and the Cowboys make off of a Dak Prescott jersey? Does he make a lot of money? Yeah, but so does everybody else off of him. And he also played college ball for 4 years for free. So you got to factor that in too. He's got a lot of time invested in himself. Channel member Robert Ross, can't wait to get my truck back tomorrow. Been without it almost 3 weeks. Yeah, I thought you got it back this past week. I'm out of the loop. I'm real surprised that it's taken this long. Maybe I'm thinking the loaner truck you had. Gary Cook, I should be on with Like Trucking sometime this week. I did my pre-employee drug test. I'm excited to get back on the road. Yeah, I've heard good things about them as well. I think you'll do well over there. And channel member Ramon is here. Good to have you, sir. And here's somebody we hadn't seen in a while. I'm glad he's in here. Uh, it's TC Boggs. He said, if you're dead set on being a 1099, Genox leases new trucks that are under warranty. It's a cryo tanker company. I worked with them a couple of years a while back. Okay, I will take that into consideration. I want to say while we got TC here, if you've never watched his channel, you may want to check it out. He has a lot of let's call it political insight that's very interesting and very common sense. I don't always agree with 100% of all of his political views. I don't agree with anybody 100%, but he presents it in a way that is well thought out. and intelligent, and it's worth hearing even if you disagree with him. So if you've never checked out TC Boggs's channel, give him a shot. And I'm glad he's here. I've only met him in person once. We went to Wendy's together and had a hamburger, and he's not a bad guy. Robbie Ross, channel member. Yes, my truck went down, then loaner went down. Yeah, but didn't they get the loaner truck working again like on Tuesday or something? Or have you been in Phoenix this whole time because they're both down? All right, we'll give Robbie Ross a couple of seconds to type. TC Boggs says appreciate the shout out. Thank you. Yeah, I still watch TC Boggs. I don't get to watch a lot of YouTube of anybody very much, but on his political commentary and even economic commentary, um, he's a very smart, educated guy, and so I like listening to his program every chance I get. And I think he does, or when I met him, he was doing that kind of cryo tanker stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to walk out and look at his truck and all, and I didn't get to do it that day. But yeah, he's a hardworking guy, and he passes through West Texas a lot, so he's in God's country. Channel member Robbie Ross, loaner was down, then they ordered. Okay, okay, I got you. I got you. All righty, we look like we're caught up on the comments. This one looks like it's going to go pretty short, but I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. I guess, like I said, look for me sometime between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Central Time next week on Sunday. We're gonna play with those times till we get it right. We got another super sticker here from Ramon, channel member as well. $5. Thank you for that, Ramon. I appreciate you. One of these days, we're going to get Ramon on here to tell his story. He's a very interesting guy that's had a lot happen in his life, and we're going to get him on here to tell us all about it. Good friend of mine. He's turned out to be a good friend. I've never met Ramon in person, but he's a good guy. Oh wow, I did not know that. TC says, "Yep, was still doing cryo. I had a month off recovering from bariatric surgery, going to be a skinny guy." Man, that's great to hear. I like I said, I don't know if you caught the first part of the show. I was taking Ozempic, and I kind of plateaued at about 243. And so last Sunday, I started Monjaro. I'm on my second dose this week, 12.5 milligrams, and the switch was purely to try to help me lose more weight. So I'm trying to get skinny without the surgery. I'm allergic to needles and pain and and surgeries, but if all this don't work, that might be the next step for me as well. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, TC. I really am, and it was good to see you in here. And I'll be watching, especially now. I've got to make sure I'm subscribed to you because I want to see how your bariatric journey goes. Robbie Ross, channel member, had to order additional parts. That stinks, and I don't get. Maybe somebody can explain this to me. Why is it so hard to get parts? If you're making, let's say that me and Robbie Ross make alternators, and we notice that by the third day of every week we're out of alternators. Why wouldn't we hire extra people so we could make more alternators? I don't get it. And same thing with the parts. I believe it was the air compressor on Robbie Ross's truck that went bad. If there's a national back order on air compressors, why don't we figure out a way to make more air compressors? It's I know I'm oversimplifying it, but you get the point I'm making. Ramon says he can't wait to get his truck out. So Ramon, sent me some pictures. He got him a super nice T660 truck from down there in Florida. He's friends with a dealer down there. And that may be one of the places I look for trucks if I do end up coming back to driving. But I thought you were rolling down the highway, Ramon. Where's your truck in the shop at? And Racing Ray says, hello, ladies and gents. Hello, Racing Ray. Thank you for being here. Now the chat's picking up. Some shops need to do a better job at stocking inventory. That's another good one. So let's say that you work at, we'll use Freightliner, for example. Freightliner knows that certain parts they're going to replace regularly. How about the one box, for example? Maybe alternators, maybe batteries. Why wouldn't you stock enough of those that, you know, hey, we're going to replace on average 6 of these a month? Why don't we keep 7 or 8 of them in stock so that we never run out? We, and I've told this story before. Back in 2003, when I was going through my first divorce, I was working at a convenience store for a few months. And my supervisor, the store manager's name was Leonard. He's no longer with us. He was a great guy. And so Leonard never saw the milkman. The milkman would come in early in the morning when I was there. And he'd bring us 6 gallons of milk. And by lunchtime, we were out of them. And so this went on for a few weeks, and customers were getting mad. They're like, why is there never any milk here? And so I told the milkman, and I'm just a clerk there. I don't have any authority. I said, why don't you bring us about 30 gallons a week? Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I said, why? We're selling out. Well, I gotta have the store manager's permission. So I said, all right, hang on. I called Leonard on the phone. I said, hey, Leonard, I've just told this milkman that we need more milk. We're selling out. I told him leave 30 gallons a week. And Leonard said, let me talk to him. And Leonard told the milkman, he said, do whatever Todd says. And Leonard said, he told Leonard, he said, well, what happens if we don't sell all 30 gallons? And he said, well, we'll worry about that when that happens. But right now we're selling out the same day you bring it. Bring more milk. And, you know, after that, we started having happier customers and we always had milk in stock. So I don't know. A lot of people struggle with inventory. And at my wife's work, one of their main ingredients at her restaurant, they ran out of it this past week. The store manager forgot to order it. How do you forget to order one of the main ingredients in your restaurant? And I say last week, it was a couple of weeks ago, but you get my point. The loaner truck repair took way too long. I agree. I would argue that both of those repairs took way too long. Ah, Ramon says waiting for the plate down here in Florida is like 3 or 4 weeks to get your plates there. Busy, I guess. Man, that you know, that could crush a business. You guys remember when I got that Kenworth? I had to wait on the plates because I got it to Texas and I went to go get the annual done, and I had a shop that didn't want to work with me, and I was down for a while, and so I ultimately ended up getting plates from Scott just because Texas was dragging their feet, and you know, I spent several $1,000s after I bought the truck just doing that, and and I want to touch on another point that I just caught, and it was what TC Boggs was talking about a minute ago. Great point, but I want to clarify. I'm not married to the idea of a 1099. I just like the freedom that I had when I was 1099. If obviously if I do a regional or a local job, I'll probably be a W-2 employee. I'm currently a W-2 employee at the place I work now. I just like the freedom and I like the decision making ability. But yeah, I could go either way, 1099 or W-2, just waiting to see what opportunities present themselves. And in the best situation, I'd like to stay working where I'm at, but I'm just not going to have you know, some little old lady telling me when I can go to the bathroom, or or some guy that's 4 or 5 years younger than me, but in my age bracket, telling me when I can go to the bathroom. If I need to go, I need to go. And if they're worried that I'm going in there to play on my phone or something, follow me in there. I don't care. I ain't got nothing to hide. But yeah, it really got under my skin. And some people have said, speaking of Monjaro and Ozempic, some people say it makes your fuse a little shorter, that you get mad a little quicker than you did before. Uh, and so, um, yeah, I'm trying to keep a grip on my temper because I definitely don't want to have another stroke. I thought that being a 1099 employee was illegal. It's illegal for company drivers to be paid as 1099. Anyone that is self-employed should be paid 1099. And with me having my own LLC and everything, it's perfectly legal for me to be paid 1099. And if you're not being paid 1099 and you're a company, I mean, if you are being paid 1099 and you're a company employee, you're really cheating yourself because on taxes, for example, when you work for a company, they're paying half of your payroll taxes and you're paying half of your payroll taxes. If I'm saying that right, and I may be saying it wrong. When you're 1099, you're paying it all. So if you're a company driver, you're saving that company money by being paid 1099 because they're only paying half the taxes. Well, they're not really paying any taxes, whereas they are having to pay some taxes and do some things like that, workers' comp, things like that. So now, having said that, I think you should be able to work however you want to. If you want to be paid 1099 and you realize that you're not getting really any of the deductions because you're a company driver, but that's how you want to be paid, then more power to you. But in the ideal world, if your company, you should be paid W-2. If you're owner operator, you should be paid 1099. Again, let me state this so I don't get sued. I am not a tax professional. I don't pretend to be a tax professional. You should seek out legal and tax advice from professionals that do that regularly and that are licensed to offer such advice. I'm working for a company that pay the employees W-2. I told the owner to pay me 1099. Again, if you want to do that, then I support your right to do that. It's technically illegal, and they're technically cheating you. So I would encourage you to reconsider that. But it's if you're happy, then I'm happy for you. I'm in a good financial situation, so being down all this time, I'm still doing well. And that came from channel member Robbie Ross. Yeah, but especially in this economy, I would say well over 90% of drivers are not doing as well right now. I just watched a video while I was waiting to come on the air where they were talking about the market and the struggles. And, there's no matter what, there was people, let me say it this way, there was people during the Great Depression that were doing well. And even in this bad economy, there's people that's still doing well. But the overwhelming majority are suffering right now. And I laugh about it because you don't see these YouTubers now talking about, look how much I made this week. You're not seeing all these income videos like you were seeing. And if they do put out their numbers, they'll only tell you gross. And let me just say, well, I got a couple things to say about that. 5,000 gross a week means nothing. Net is where it's at. Because if you're paying 12 or 1500 a week for a truck and 12 or 1500 a week for diesel, and then all your plates and permits and ELD and all of that, you're not making very much money. And if and I know what they're doing wrong. I've watched several videos this week. If you're just saying, well, yeah, but I'm getting a lot of miles, you're thinking wrong for running the spot market or running load boards. It's rate per mile and how efficiently you can run that rate per mile. And so I had some people take some pot shots at me this week, some YouTubers. Um, And I'm not going to shine a light on a cockroach at this point, so I'm not going to comment on what they said or how they said it. You know what? What the heck? I will. All right, here's what they said. They were taking pot shots at me about the GoFundMe after the strokes. All right, I want you guys to remember back. I for weeks, viewers said, "Hey Todd, you should start a GoFundMe," and I never did. I resisted it. I said, "No." I said, "People that want to donate will donate through the channel. I'll be fine. Just got to get through the next few weeks." Well, somebody took some shots at me this week about the GoFundMe, and they said I would never do that. I would never have a members only group. I would never, I would never have a GoFundMe. And you could probably go back and find videos where I said the same things, but have the last 18 months that I had, and then say that. And I said the same thing. I've talked about this before when Trucking Answers, when he started doing a podcast. Man, I would never do a podcast and try to get people to go over there. And then I understood why he did it, because YouTube really restricts what you can say once you're monetized. And so you have to find ways around that to say what you really want to say. And so this guy that was criticizing me, his channel is either just monetized or not quite monetized. I don't know, but he spent a good 2 or 3 minutes taking pot shots at me. And I know at some point he's going to comment and say, "Todd, I wasn't talking about you. You know that. I got your back." And maybe he wasn't talking about me, but whoever he was talking about, they had a lot of similarities with me. And so, all of you, I would say, before you judge me or anyone else, um, keep in mind that you haven't been through what I've been through, and I haven't been through what you've been through. And all those stuff you said you might never do, you might if the situation got bad enough. Ramon channel member says Petro in Ocala, Florida, air compressor went out. They charged the company. I worked $2,200 for the air compressor. That's crazy. Yeah, I agree. I don't get it. It shouldn't be that expensive. And I just when I was looking at trucking companies the other day for somebody, I saw that their shop rate was $60 an hour. And I'm going to assume that that trucking company still makes money at $60 an hour. And so even if you say, well, truck stops got to charge more, they're 24 hours, all of that. Okay, fine. So mark it up 50%, charge $90 an hour at the truck stop. Most of them are charging between 180 and 240 an hour right now. That's just highway robbery. And, the government's always worried about uh, anti competition things and things like that. A lot of times there's nowhere else you can get your truck fixed. You're at the mercy of that shop, and you may get a skilled mechanic and you may not. And so I don't think there's a shop in the country that should be charging over $90 an hour. And of course, they don't care what I think, but I mean, if this carrier that I was looking at the other day for somebody can do it for $60 an hour, mark it up 50% and charge people 90 at the Loves and the TA and the Petro, they're still going to make a killing. Here's a guy I haven't seen in a long time. Randy's Road Life. Hello, brother. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. Petro labor is 110 an hour. Well, it depends which one you go to. If the one you're at's 110 an hour, I would say that's on the low side compared to a lot of places. I want to say the Loves here in Lubbock, and Lubbock is usually cheaper on stuff, was like 130 or 140 an hour, if I remember correctly. Channel member Robbie Ross, my compressor was under warranty. I know time and parts was about 3,400. The air dryer I paid for. Wow. And yeah, we just have to break all that down. I don't know what their hourly rate was or what the flag hours were on that, but it there's a whole lot of people making a whole lot of money while truck drivers are scraping by. The air compressor probably costs the manufacturer about $30 to make it, maybe 50, and look what they sell it for. And that shop probably pays their mechanic, 25, $30 a flag hour, and they're charging 110. So granted, they do have some shop insurance and some things like that, some overhead supplies, but they even have a supply charge on there that's supposed to cover their supplies. So if you're charging a supply charge, the hourly rate doesn't need to be that high. And Ramon, channel member, and they take forever to do a job. Yeah, that'll tell you a lot right there how they're paid. If they're paid by the flag hour, they'll hurry because you can actually beat the flag times if you're a good mechanic. If they're paid by the hour, like a lot of these carrier shops are, they don't care. They'll take their time because they're getting paid the same whether they get you done in an hour or it takes 3 weeks. Channel member Robbie Ross, 195 an hour. See, that's just insane. It should be half that. Randy's Road Life. I'm happy that I got out when I did. Right now, I'm making $29 an hour with the LTL flatbed. Home every day. Yeah, that's a good deal. That I would be happy with that too. I just, especially since the strokes, I don't know that my motor skills are that good or strength where I could climb around. Now, as I get skinnier, I'm able to do more for sure. And a lot of people that have seen me in person have commented how much better I look and how much more it looks like I can do. But it's one of those deals, and I guess I could use an NFL analogy. If you played football in the NFL and somebody hit you really, really hard and gave you a concussion, and you were out of the game for a couple of weeks or whatever, that first big hit you took when you got back in the game, you'd kind of be wondering, am I the old me? Can I do what I did before? And we saw this with Troy Aikman. You might remember near the end of Troy Aikman's career, he got hit really hard in the head, got a concussion, and he's never the same with the Cowboys. They traded him to somebody, I believe it was San Diego, and he was just never the same after that. And same thing here. I feel like I've got hit in the head really hard, and I'm testing myself a little at a time. I went and worked on a coworker's four wheeler and kind of tested myself and was disappointed. Yesterday, I moved some furniture and kind of tested myself to see where I was at physically and strength wise. Last night, I mowed my backyard in the heat to kind of test myself, and that's where I'm at now. I'm not saying I couldn't do what Randy's doing. I'm saying I would just want to build up to it and make sure I could do it instead of getting myself into something that I couldn't do physically or mentally. They charge 1,200 for the compressor. Yeah, that seems. I mean, I realize that heavy duty commercial parts are going to be higher. It just seems. I think all of that stuff's overpriced. And channel member Ramon says, "You have a good night, Todd. You too, sir. I think we're fixing to wrap it up, but I appreciate you being here, and I hope your plates come in soon." All right, with that, I think I'm going to step on out of here. Y'all have a great Sunday night. Had fun at church this morning. I got to go get ready for work tomorrow. Go get ready to take that chewing I was telling y'all about. We'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye.